Morning, everybody. It's 8:10 a.m. November 20th. Welcome to my channel. So, Nvidia had good earnings. AI bubbles on pause for now. Markets are gapping up. We have non-farm payrolls and unemployment data coming out at 8:30. Now, these are from September, not October. So, curious to see how the markets react to those numbers. So, yesterday, as expected, we had a more range bound day. We did have a little bit of a bull trap early on. Market ripped up, but when I was live, I was telling the channel that the overall market's really not that strong. So unless the rest of the market starts to catch up to technology, then we're not going to go much higher. And then we started to dip, and then it was pretty much rain bound from there, waiting for NVIDIA's earnings. Okay, that's what's going on. And my top step, I had a couple long scalps yesterday, so profitable day, nothing crazy. And let's just get right into it. Welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use market profile and volume profile to find structure in the markets, along with supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, the most traded price of the year, the month, the week, and the previous day. That's my edge. That's how I construct game plans. Okay. Use anchor VWAPs, market internals, and bookmap for executing futures, day trades, and use my weekly expected move indicator that you can get for free on my Discord. That gives you the expected range for the week. Okay, some notables on that. Okay, AMD hit its expected move to the downside. Amazon hit its expected move to the downside. Microsoft hit its expected move to the downside. Coinbase hit its expected move to the downside. Berkshire Hathaway hit its expected move to the downside. So, with that being said, that is pretty big players in the markets to hit the expected move to the downside. And I showed you guys yesterday the bullish percent index of the technology sector was kind of overdone. When it's oversold, and I always said that doesn't mean it can't go farther, but it means that there's not much juice left to the short side. And here we are. All right, here we are. Now, hopefully, you guys join me every day. Subscribe and set an alert. That would mean a lot to my channel. All right, that'd be great. Great, 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 great. And I do this every morning, give you the market news, economic calendar, just what's really going on with the markets. Not a bunch of furu fluff. Like I said, let me be your indicator. All right. Now, if you want more in-depth coverage, you're going to join my Discord. That's Confluence Trading. Go to the YouTube homepage, click on the link, sign up. What are you waiting for? Okay, I've been going live, dropping golden nuggets, and keeping everybody on the right side of the market. All right. Like I said, if there's a quant out there, come join the community. We can get together and collaborate. All right. Always open to ideas and maybe new ways to explore my skill of reading the market. All right. Alrighty. Let's look at the futures watch list here. Ethereum getting some life, up 3%. Bitcoin up 2.59%. Nasdaq up 1.80%. ES up 1.29. Crude is up 1.10. Russell's up 0.84. The Dow is up 0.64. 10-year yield is up 0.34. Silver's up. Gold is up. Dollar is flat. 30-year bonds are being sold slightly. The VIX is down 13%. We're down to 20.58 VIX. Okay, still pretty good VIX. Moving on to the Mag 7 Plus here. The notable one with the NVDA earnings, they're up 5.35%. They're hanging around 196.5 right now. It closed at 186, so roughly up about $10. All right, pretty nice move. AMD, the most beat up semi, and since October 29th. All right, that's the most beat up semiconductor out of the main ones. I think I saw it was down 15%. Okay, that's up 4.54. At Broadcom, up almost 4%. Google up over $300, up 3.10%. Coinbase up 2.75. Tesla's up 2.42. Amazon up 2%. Meta up 1.64. So all these stocks getting love. These were really weak. Okay. Now, Berkshire Hathaway, like I said, hit its expected move to the downside after a big move the week prior. Eli Lilly is only down slightly, but that had a monster move last week. You know what? I didn't realize it. Did Eli Lilly broke its expected move to the upside? Oh, those numbers are wrong. Those numbers are wrong. Don't look into that, what I just said. Now, let's look at the top sectors here. Palantir's been slammed too, up 4%. Oracle been slammed as well, up 3%. GEV Renova, up 1.11. And the lagger is PepsiCo, a staple. McDonald's kind of looked at as a staple, so is Johnson & Johnson. All right, Walmart reported earnings. They were down earlier. Now they're up because they actually beat and they had good guidance. And I was like, oh, they were down 1% just earlier. Now they're not. Now they're not. Okay. Look at the granular list here. Core Weave up 9.85. So some high flyers here. Iris Energy up 9.10. Vertiv, data center build out, kind of power cooling. SoundHound, super microcomputers. So Oklo, all these speculative stocks getting a lot of love. Okay. Moving on. Who's down? I think this is Bath and Body Works. I could be wrong about that. Down 16.16. Palo Alto down 2.70. Datadog down 1.54. All right, let's move on. Sectors. Semiconductors up 2.62%, followed by technology up 2.11%. Pretty much that's what moves markets, folks. All right. Discretionary up 0.94. There's nothing negative. Okay. Awaiting non-farm payrolls. Now this, like I said, the non-farm payrolls is from September. Not sure how the market's going to react to that. We're going to move on here to the economic calendar. Let's look at that together. We got non-farm payrolls. So non-farm payrolls looking to add 50K, previous 22K. Unemployment 4.3. We're looking for it was 4.3 last time. We'll see. We also have existing home sales at 10 a.m. That doesn't usually move markets too much, but be aware of that. Then you got some Fed speak. Okay. Now, additional, any additional is Trump talking today? Let's see, you have Fed Cook speaking, Fed Goolsbee, Fed Mirren. All right, well, we already talked about that. Looks like Walmart's CEO is talking right now. Maybe that's why it's driving Walmart back up. All right, NVIDIA, I mean, don't have to get too much into it, but NVIDIA rose 5% in post-market trade, releasing profits, boosting their other AI stocks as well. S&P 5 futures surged 1.3, while Nasdaq 100 contracts rose 1.9 as relief from the significant risk event bolstered mood after a week of volatility. All right. Now, let's look at risk here. All right, I just talked about that. Let's look at my news. Let's see. U.S. economy likely added jobs at a moderate pace in September. Let's see. Tipping point or bubble. NVIDIA CEO sees AI transformation while skeptics count the risks. Spanish court orders Meta to pay $550 million. Let's see here. I'll just read this. U.S. stock index futures jumped after NVIDIA stellar results quelled some concerns around AI bubble, boosting technology stocks and lifting the overall market sentiment. Okay, the optimism around NVIDIA's performance spilled over into global markets with European equities climbing and Japan's Nikkei advancing for the same reason. Chinese stocks closed down as investors booked profits. All right, oil rose as bigger than expected drop in U.S. crude inventories offset speculation that U.S. efforts to end the Russia-Ukraine war could increase supply. Says Google opened a new AI infrastructure hardware engineering center in Taiwan. Let's see here. Let's see. NVIDIA got Bernstein raises target price to 275 and 225. All right. All right, all right. Let's see if there's a stock roundup here. Here we go. All right. NVIDIA stock surged 4.8 after the world's most valuable company posted third quarter sales growth of 60%, the first acceleration in 7 quarters. Wow. AMD, Broadcom, Supermicrocomputer, and Oracle all traded higher after NVIDIA's report. Walmart stock fell 0.6 after the retail giant reported better than expected. We know that's up now. Bath and Body Works, that's stock slumped 14% after retail issued disappointing guidance. Amazon stock gained 1.5. Their Morgan Stanley said it sees significant upside in the tech giant as its cloud unit gathers momentum. Tesla stock rose 2.1 after Piper Sandler said the electric vehicle manufacturer full self-driving software is so advanced that it may already outperform human drivers. Right, Palo Alto stock dropped 3.8 after the networking security company agreed to acquire Chronosphere for about $3.35 billion. Okay, I think we're done here. Let's look at just maybe there's any more upgrades or downgrades. We'll just go real quick into here. Let's see. Nothing in here. Interesting. Downgrades. Nothing in really here to talk about either. All right, let's talk about the breadth. I talked about that yesterday. Remember this chart? It only rose a little bit, but remember I said this is kind of getting overdone. This is the bullish percent index of the technology sector. All right, I said this is kind of getting a little bit overcooked. Now, I didn't know what NVIDIA earnings was going to do. It just cautioned shorts. That's all. And I knew certain stocks are hitting their expected move. Certain stocks were hitting their expected move. Okay? We could show that. I could show you guys that in a little bit, the expected move hit. Let's look at the Fed Watch tool. This is always good to look at and see what the percentages of a cut are happening. So, pretty interesting. Only a 27% chance of a Fed cut. That could change today after data, even though it's September. Let's go with probabilities. Not probabilities. Let's go to compare. Yeah. Look at that. A month ago it was 98%. It's currently 27. That's pretty crazy. Simply because of those Fed talks. All right. So, let me 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Back. I am back. Okay. Let's move on. We can do a little market internal recap here. So, yesterday tech was real strong. Off the open, let me see if I can show you guys my Discord here. This was really strong yesterday. I usually post around 9:45. Let's see here, right? My first post was 9:46, right? Let's look at the internals. That's not from yesterday. Yesterday. This was at 10 a.m. Look at the technology. Just want to show you that. It was up 1.46, communications at 0.87. This market was flying. Okay? And I want to show you down here the ADDs on the SP 500. That is like pretty much look at that as 250 stocks above yesterday's close and below yesterday's close. Same thing in Nasdaq 100. So that was saying, I don't know if this has the ammunition to go. Look at the equal weight down here. The white line was so much weaker than the market cap. I said this equal weight needs to match this market cap. It needed to get real steam and really get going, and it couldn't do it. Could not do it. Okay? So that's what I'm talking about in those internals. And it just fell. Look at, see how you rose up and you kind of just fell just as quick. So I was on pause. Anytime tech is real strong, it's real hard to short it. But in this case, it was probably a de-risk for NVIDIA and for unemployment for today. Okay, and then we tried to drop here, right? And then we dipped, went up, and that was all. This was right when we did this. That was pretty much the low. Okay, that was pretty much the low. We got about 5 minutes, so we're gonna get right into the daily charts here. Let's do daily charts. All right, so we came up in here yesterday, hit this trend line. We never back tested the 50-day moving average. So kind of had, you broke the previous day's highs, but you closed right here, right? But now, after NVIDIA, we are up to 670, call it 50, 670, 50. Well, all the way up here. We're above the 50-day, just slightly above the 9 EMA daily. We're trying to go towards Friday's close, which would be 671.93. Okay. This is going to be interesting if we can close above the 50-day. People might take profits here. I would say this is going to be a little tough area. Also, it's market generated information. If we blow past this 50-day, that would be interesting. Okay, that would be very interesting. Let's look at futures. Futures here. Look at this move. You bounced off the 100-day moving average, right? And look at that's almost equal day as far as a 24-hour session here at both sessions in a row. Now you bust out of these sessions. You go right at the 50-day. See, in futures, you hit that 50-day right on the money and got a wick. Right on the money and got a wick. Okay? Now, Qs. So here's the Qs. Qs was relatively strong yesterday. Look at that. Almost hit the 50-day. Didn't. Closed all the way back. Okay? Now you're inside last week's range. All right, where are we at now? 609.80. 609. You're all the way up here. 609.80. You're past the 50-day moving average. You're past last Friday's close. Interesting. Okay, that's a big move. You got this daily resistance here, 612 around 612.30s. All right, let's look at futures and let's see. Look how we're looking at here. Remember, I don't know how much this job data coming out is going to affect markets. All right, let's see here. Nice inside last week's range now, right at the 50 right now on futures. On futures, okay, on futures. Let's see. Still in a downtrend here. Be interesting what transpires today. What this job data can possibly do. If this job data, let's say unemployment goes up 4.5 or something like that, we don't add enough jobs, that could then push this market up because then the Fed rate cut would probably go up the percentages. So let's just see. It could be a nothing burger or everything could be in line. I don't know. It's from September. It's not from October. I think they said we're not even going to get the October. We're not even going to get the October. Okay. Let's look at, let me get rid of this sidebar. Let's look at some breadth. Okay, a little more breadth here. Here's your percentage of stocks above their 50-day moving average. That is only 35%. So the overall breadth is not great at all. Okay, at all. Not looking great. All right, let's look at the RSP. That's your equal weight. Let's just see what actually, if everything was equal, how's our stock market looking? We're kind of hanging out at these lows. Okay, that's what we're doing here. So that's what we're looking at. All right. While we got time, why don't we look at the 10-year yield real quick? And that's kind of been on a little bit of a rise, a little bit, right? That's going to put weight on mortgage rates. We keep going up, it's going to affect mortgage rates. Okay, you can see inverse head and shoulders forming here, which is bullish pattern. If that rises, that's going to put weight on mortgage rates. Okay, we have to see if the Fed cuts or not. All right, and I think that's it for now. Okay, that's it for now. Let's go over some notables here. Let me change this to yellow. And I'm just going to show you some expected moves. That's been hit. Ignore that one. AMD. AMD, let's go over here. Hit its expected move to the downside yesterday. Okay. Coinbase. Hit its expected move to the downside. Also the anchored VWAP from 2024. Amazon. Hit its expected move to the downside yesterday, and look at that, a trend line. These are all stocks that are getting slammed. Microsoft hit its expected move to the downside. Okay. I don't know who the hell that was. Oh, we got data. We got data. I don't know what market's not really moving that great. Let's go to the hourly charts here. Man, this market's not moving at all from this. Let's see if this data came out. I mean, I heard something in my ear. I've never heard that before. Where that came from. Let's go to the data. What the hell did I just do? What did I just do? I just closed the window. I just closed the window I didn't want to. All right. Let's see these numbers here. I don't see. All right, hold on. Whoa, okay. That's we're getting some lift off here. This is why. Okay, so unemployment went up 4.4. So this is what I'm talking about. The micro's going to like this. Unemployment rate going up means cuts coming. But interesting, we added 119,000 jobs, only expected to add 50K. So that would go against that, but the market's liking the unemployment. The market's liking the unemployment. You rose more than expected. So right now, that's going to make more cuts come in. Non-farm payrolls, that's interesting. Added a lot more jobs than expected. But the unemployment is what's mattering right now. That's what the market's liking. Right here. Okay, we're hitting the month-to-date anchor VWAP right there, right to the tick in that supply zone. I can get rid of this supply zone that doesn't exist anymore. Okay, this is the anchored VWAP from the all-time highs. You have a lot of congestion here. A lot. Okay. I don't know how the market's going to handle this. You rose in unemployment more than expected, but we added more jobs than expected. Interesting. Interesting. I think this, like I said, is going into a lot of overhead supply here. Let me get my marker out. Marker. Where are you, marker? I don't know where the heck that marker went. Give me one sec here. Let me get out of this. Let's try that again. Alrighty. So you can see what we did the last couple of days. Higher low, higher low, higher low. And this was the triple-headed high volume note. Remember I talked about that? From 66.60 to 67.15 about. Remember I talked about that. I said if this market captures this, comes back, takes this out, that is bullish. Okay? And if we hold it, maybe Santa Claus coming to town now. I don't know. Okay? But it's happened. We also broke this downtrend channel. We got out of the channel. We were in it. We were bouncing in it. Look, boom, 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 boom. Tested it, fell back, broke out of it in the overnights. Now we're pushing up. It's just a matter of what is the market going to do with this data. I think they're going to like that the unemployment rose, and that's from September. And everybody knows pretty much if you just follow any kind of metric that the labor has been deteriorating. It's not looking good. Okay, so probably October's numbers might have got even worse, but we don't have them. I don't think they said we're not even going to get them. Okay, so you can already tell this is going to be a nice demand zone here. This is going to be a nice demand zone if that keeps up. All right, so I'm just going to put a zone here. Let's just do this one. Let's just do this one. Oh, hold on a sec. Let's just do this one. I'm going to say, just for now, this is my demand zone. right there. You got nice support here. A lot of support. 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, 5 hours of support there. So I'm going to watch that. Okay, we've hit the month-to-date anchor VWAP right to the tick, and this congestion and supply. So I'm not surprised by that. Does the market lift off? I think we have a good shot of pushing up today. I don't know. Like I said, this is a lot of overhead supply. Might cause problems. All right, might cause problems. Let's move over to the Nasdaq. Let's just look at the Nasdaq shaping up here. Hold on a second. Why is this like that? Okay. Let's look at Nasdaq. Remember I talked about the 248s. So here's your Nasdaq. We broke that anchored VWAP. Sellers got underwater with this move from NVDA. Okay, you can see we almost hit month-to-date anchor VWAP, but we did come into that supply zone, and we're getting a wick. We're getting a wick. All right. So remember what I said. We needed to get over this 248s. Well, it did it. And then we had a trend line here that it broke in the overnights, retested it. What do we do here? What do we do? Right? Anchor VWAP from the all-time highs, anchor VWAP from the month. Okay, this still signifies, it's red, that the sellers are in control of the month. That's what that means. Okay, sellers are in control of the month. Buyers are in control of the week. That's the week-to-day VWAP. It's green. Okay. So, what do we do? Like I said, higher low, higher low, higher low. Last week's lows. We're back into last week's range. You made a nice big move from 248s right here. That's not a surprise. Okay, you have a kind of a pivot level right here. Looks like. Okay, but what am I going to do? We're into the supply. You can see this consolidation we're going to run into here. That makes sense that you're going to run into that wall. You might bounce off the wall a little bit before you can try to take this wall out. Now, if you take this wall out, you have poor structure here. You could take it out. Okay. Over 248s. Really not much. See all this price action here? That's going to slow down the market. Okay. Now, in a big pattern here, you can see that's kind of like a neckline. That's a left shoulder, a right shoulder, the head, inverse, head and shoulders. And if you bust that neckline, you can go up higher. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. We'll have to see. Now, I'm going to pull a little bit of a demand zone here. I think if at the ADP, the non-farm payroll, if that was week 2, I think this market would be ripping higher, ripping. Okay, I think that makes this number a little weird. We really added a lot of jobs. Now again, if those jobs are government jobs or something, which does not help our economy at all, that doesn't really matter, right? Because we pay for their salaries. It's not like something that helps our economy. All right, so that's your Nasdaq. All right. Alrighty. There's a couple high flyers that I might look. Not sure if I'm gonna play there or not. A lot of Bitcoin stock, related stocks like Mara, Riot, you have Palantir, AMD, Oracle, stocks that have been beaten. Now, if you can get a nice push. Doesn't mean I'm not sure. I might day trade one of those or not. I'm not sure if I will or not. But those are the most beaten down. AMD, Oracle, Palantir. They should get nice, really push. They've kind of got a push already. All right. But who knows what we're going to get. Okay. Moving on. We're going to move on to market profile, Brian profile here, and we'll get you out of here. Now, I forgot to show you guys one thing yesterday. Let's go here, is these daily charts in the ES. I forgot to show you guys this yesterday. So I had an anchor VWAP from this day, see how we were in this consolidation? Bounced off the 200-day moving average here. So that was around, I think it's June 23rd. Let me just make sure. Yeah, June 23rd. We were down there. Okay. And then we broke out of this consolidation. I put an anchor view up there. Notice this has been support, support, never been touched until the other day. Boom. Right with the 100-day moving average. And look at this. We're bouncing. Now we're back testing this 50-day. Right? Can we get over that today? I don't know. Be very bullish if you closed above it. Okay. Let's look at the NASDAQ, because the NASDAQ has, I have a similar anchor view up here. Look at that. Anchor view up. This was from the most traded price of the rolling year in the NASDAQ. We broke out, tested once, twice, three times, four, and then we hit it again with the 100-day moving average. And we're bouncing. Who knows what's going to happen? You're still in a downtrend here. Overall, bullish, but in the medium term, you are in a downtrend. And you have all this volume here. Okay? That's what we have going on, folks. Let's go back to our ES. Let's go back. We're gapping up. Okay. Now we have a little bit of a weekly profile here. So we have some movement up. Got some thinner volume. And then we got value area all the way down here with a little excess. Okay. That's our weekly profile. Now the couple, lines up pretty nicely. Now we have our triple head high volume nodes here. You got 1, 2, 3. I said that was your barometer. We're over that now, folks. It changes the bias to bullish in this intraday day trade thing, okay? You went lower, couldn't go any lower, and then NVIDIA helped us. And when you gap, this is what's a beautiful thing now. That this is a beautiful level if you get this shot today. Beautiful level if you get this shot today. This is really nice, okay? So the top of this triple high volume node here is 6710. 6710. Now, what is that also? It's the 50% retracement of the overnight session. You have single prints here, okay? And it's yesterday's highs. Man, if that's not right, if that is not a pullback long, woof. If we come back there and that market's not that weak, boy, oh boy, that makes me salivate. Okay, that makes me salivate. All right, now you saw me do this demand zone just before, right? Right here. All right, so in this demand zone, you have the most traded price of the overnights. Longs are there, folks. Longs are there. Okay, so what is that price? That price is 67.45. 67.45 is your most traded price of the overnight. That is going to be key. Very key. You can see the profile here, right? Got a lot of single prints, a lot of emotional buying, and then you have the bulk of the volume. Bulk of the volume. Okay? So, all these traders here are most likely longs. Now, we are also 100%, almost 100% net long in the overnight from the open. That's NVIDIA's earnings, right? Top of the session. I would expect a correction. We're coming into a heavily supplied area. We just hit the month-to-date anchored view up. Okay? So, this area is key. Okay? And we know we have a lot of overhead supply here. Multiple stacked supply zones all the way up here. And we tipped our toe here and got some selling. Remember, we're also hit the 50-day moving average in futures. So, what do I expect today? I don't know. We already made a move. We already gapped up. Do we take out all that supply above us? Not sure. I'm not sure if this is a bull trap, and we'll adjust accordingly when the market opens, right? If people are like, you know what, I just taking profit. I don't trust this market, and tech is weak all of a sudden today, that would put me on notice. Okay? That would put me on notice. Now, what else do we have to talk about? Well, another big level here. It's your most traded price of the week, 66.70. Okay? 66.70. That lines up with yesterday's most traded price. That lines up with last week's lows. That lines up with the overnight lows. You don't want to break that level because the bears will be back in control. The bottom of that triple high volume node, you do not want to break it. That will tell me, okay, bulls, I don't know, you might have got trapped. Okay? But that's not where we are. That's my gauge. That's my barometer. Okay? That will let me know how to look at the market. Okay? Now, let's break the session out and get right into scenarios here. Here we are. Boom. There's the price action. 30-minute bars. That's all market profile is. 30-minute bars. That's all it is. Okay? All right. So, let's get into it. Now, I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm looking for a pullback long, folks. I'm going to eye up that pullback long. Let's see. All right. Bulls back in control above the triple-headed high volume node. All right. Let's get into it. Bulls. All right. Now, I'm not interested right here where we're at. We're gapping up. Oh, I'm sorry. Gap fill is in this area too. That's what I meant to say too. Gap fill is in this area. That's the woof. You get that present, man. That would be nice. Now, let's see. Price is up at the overnight highs, right? We're hitting the month-to-date anchor view, and we know we have supply above us. I don't long in supply. Okay. All right. I don't long in supply. So what I think is going to happen, okay, what I think right here, any variation of a push up, okay, in supply, get a rejection, you get some lower highs, you start to fall back. Remember what I said about this level, the most traded price of the overnight, and demand right here, 67.45s, okay, very important. Now, it never holds exact, but if it does one of these in demand and you get one of these, a higher low, that could propel us to 6,800 maybe, to 6,800. Okay. Now, of course, if it's not perfect, right, maybe we get a deeper correction. Maybe you go through that. That would cause some selling. You break this support, 67.26s. This is where that golden setup would come for me. Now, it's only golden if we do this quick and the market doesn't get a chance to get that weak, and we go and we touch 67.10, gap fill, the top of the hot triple high volume node, the 50% retracement of the overnights. Woo, woo. Do something like this, long, folks. Okay? I don't want to do business in here. No. That's going to be a death trap for me. Now, there's thin volume, so we'll get into that. But, like, as far as a long, if we go deep into here, I'm not that interested. I'm really not interested. I don't want to go back into the triple high volume node area. I want to touch my toe in it and spring out of it. Okay? This is my scenarios for longs today. Okay. Shorts. We have a big supply right up in here. We got a lot of congestion here. A lot of price action. Okay? We're at overnight highs right now. Great. Remember this edge, right? We're almost 100% net long. Now look at these sessions. If you got long here, You're paid, right? Another higher low. Another higher low. Now you know everybody's long in the overnights. This is the edge where you can get that correction. Okay, you're at the top of the session in supply at the month to date anchor VWAP. This is where you can get a nice push and get a dump. And I don't know how much it dumps, but it might be worth, because I'm saying what I just said. A lot of times is there's froth in the open, and then you dump. It doesn't mean it's a bearish play. It just means that people have to take profits. The market's got to take a breather before it next move. Okay, so let's go. Just what I said. We can go up, maybe even to 70, 67, 80s. Maybe that's where you get the lower high. You start to come through, and this is where that 67.45 is very crucial. That might be it. That might be it. But bonus, go through that most traded price. We know longs are here. You're going to at least go to 67.26, and then I'd say your gold here would be your goal gap fill. This could be it as well. Now, if this market gets continued momentum to the downside, if tech is weak, if all the stocks that drives speculative stocks are starting to get, I'm telling you, it's going to cause some panic. If we gap fill, right? The market's pushing up right now, even better. Okay? And we start to come into this triple high volume node area. There is very thin volume here. I'm telling you right now. You get into the middle of this. Maybe hold some here and just let it cook, because you're probably going to go back all the way to 66.70. I'm telling you right now. Big bear trap here. And then you go through 66.70. Okay? This is what I said. This area here, you go on beneath that, bulls are on notice. That's Panic City. Okay? Now, remember, this is a scenario. This isn't what I think's going to happen, but what I know will happen is that if there's continued weakness, there's thin volume here. This is a lot of longs up here. And this could get ugly. Okay, but I want to do my business, short business up here. Okay, might be a quick move, like I said. But we have our edge, right? Longs getting paid, longs getting paid, longs getting paid, longs getting paid. Overnight, 100%, close to 100% net long at the highs of the overnight session into supply. It's setting up for that correction. It's setting up for the correction. Okay? And like I said, it might just be this you get. It might just be this. It might be, but trust me, if the market keeps going, it's going to cause panic. Okay? That's it for my ES. Let's get to the NASDAQ. NASDAQ. All right. Let's look at this. Let's make you a little bit smaller. All right. All right. Profile doesn't really help us for the week. Here it is. We got value area here. And then we got a little bit here. It's not really showing as much. All I know, you can see the bulk of the volume happened here. That's why I said 248 was very important. We took 248 back. All right. Now, we also have the same setup in the NASDAQ. Okay. It's nice when you have both setups, right? What did the NASDAQ just do? It hit its month-to-date anchor VWAP. Where is the NASDAQ? It's at the overnight highs. We are 100%, close to 100% net long, and we know longs are getting paid, longs are getting paid, longs are getting paid, longs are getting paid, and now we're all the way up here into supply, into the the month-to-date anchor VWAP. Okay? This is setting up for a correction. Okay? This is setting up for a correction. Just to clarify, here's the open of the overnight. There's your shorts from the overnight. There's your longs. This is your shorts. That's your longs. Okay? This is very nice. Got thin profile now at the top. Your bulk volume here. Okay? So, right off the bat, we have our gap fill and the 50% retracement of the overnight together. Right here. Watch that area. Then we have our demand zone right here, right? And we have our most traded price, call it 251.50s with a demand. So here's your VPOC of the overnight, okay? We have overhead supply here. Got a key 253.62 resistance here. Oh, that's horrible. That's a horrible. Okay. And you have your month-to-date anchor VWAP right there. We slammed into it. We're getting a little selling. Remember the 50-day moving average is around there. This is what we're dealing with, folks. Now, look what down here. Your 248s line up right here with the overnight lows. You also have the 24-hour most traded price of the week is 24670s right here. You don't want to go below that, folks. You don't want to go below that. Okay, let's spread this out and get you out of here. All right, let's right here. Okay. Oh, this is very nice. There's a lot of setups today. I like it. I like a lot. All right, let's do the NASDAQ scenarios here. All right, we'll start with the bull side. Now, remember I said I'm waiting for a correction. I don't long a supply, especially when it has a month-to-date anchor VWAP right there. Okay. Now, what I think, you might get the euphoria here in gap and go. You get that, fine. You might tap into this high volume node around the 253s. All right. Now, I think you get some profit taking there. Okay. And we're going to at least test that. Remember that 251.50s. Most traded price overnight lines up with a demand zone. Might not be perfect, so it could be this area. If you rip, hold, now we can possibly go up. Maybe we go up to 255s today. I don't know. I'm not sure. Not sure. All right. Of course, you could pull back to this support. All right. That support is 25022s. You could also. Now, what I could see happen here, even if you go like here, boop, you gap fill it. That's your gap fill. That's your 50% retracement of the overnights. You could do this, boop. That's a long. You can take the overnight highs out. Try this 253s. 253s is a strong high volume node here. I don't know if we can capture that today. Okay, you might just pull back, but if you hold it, you could get more. I don't know. Now, in the NASDAQ, I would say there's single prints here, okay? There might be a bear trap here, a little more than the ES, and you can go a little deeper right in here. Any support in these singles is bullish. Other than that, I'm telling you right now, I'm not interested in a long. All right, now, shorts. We have the overnight inventory, almost 100% net long at the top of a range. Remember, longs have been getting paid. Higher low, higher low, higher low. Okay, that's called one time framing. All right, they are in control now over 248s. So, however, we know they're getting paid. If I got long here and I'm just trailing stops, I'm loving it. Okay, if I got long here, I'm loving it. But you're in supply, you're hitting the month-to-date anchor view up. We know we're 100% net long, close to it. Now, that's the edge, right? That's the edge I talk about. So, I move up, hit the 253s, get your lower high, then you go right to those 25150s. That could be it. We know longs are there. We know there's a demand there. That could be it. If you push through that level, you are going straight to the 20. I forget what this is. A little above 250s. If you do that, you're going to get gap fill 24988s. Now, if this market keeps deteriorating in panics, you should see something like this. Right down to the 248s. Now, into the 248, you got a lot of volume here. I don't think you cut right through it. If you do cut right through it, that is very bearish, and this could go right back down. This is all ifs. I don't know. Like I said, it could stop here. It could stop here. I'm just saying that there's very thin volume here. Emotional buying here. That's very thin. But support in here is bullish. That's it, folks. That's what all I'm interested in today. All right. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you did, smash the like button. Smash, smash, smash that like button. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then hopefully you subscribe, set an alert. What do you got to lose? Do this every morning. Give you the market news. Let me be your cup of coffee. Let me be your podcast. All right. I give you the real deal. Real deal here. All right. And trust me, I'm not gonna steer you wrong. I will not steer you wrong. And that's why I invite everybody to come join my channel. That's why I invite everybody to come join my Discord. Okay, my Discord is Confluence Trading. Go to the YouTube homepage, click on the link, and sign up. You get my live commentary. I've been live lately, giving golden nuggets. All right, giving golden nuggets, and you get my weekly expected move indicator that I run via Python script on every Monday morning. It's so key. Look, I already showed you a bunch of major stocks hit their expected moves to the downside. I showed you the bullish percent index was oversold of the technology sector. Okay? Now, NVDA earnings came, so nobody knew what was going to happen. I'm not sitting there telling you, oh, I knew this. But it was set up for this setup, right? Overdone tech, oversold a little bit. All you needed was a little help from NVIDIA. Okay, my point is this. If you come to my Discord and listen to me live, which I invite you to do, I will not steer you wrong. I'll be very accurate. I will not let price action deter me from what I'm saying, because internals are everything. You cannot outperform internals. So as much as a bullish move looks internally, I'll be like, I'm telling you right now, don't look good. That's what I said yesterday. I said tech is driving this market. If tech cannot get stronger and bring the rest of the market with it, it's not going to be able to sustain it, and we went down. Okay? Now, what I invite from that is this. This is what I invite from that. Okay? Let's collaborate. If you're listening to me and going, oh, Steve just said this, and this is part of the way I like to set up my trade, share it with me. Let's collaborate. My analysis is spot on, right? Sometimes it just happens out of nowhere where I'm still right, but it is not really a trade unless I just blindly short it along with no really predetermined plan. Okay? But maybe somebody else is like, no, you can look at it like this. Yo, let's collaborate. That's all. I'm looking for collaboration. All right? Use my skill, use your skill. Let's collaborate. More good with that. Right? So please come and join me and just listen to me live. I will trust me. I will not steer you wrong. Okay? All right. That's it for me, folks. All right. So we got our plans. I really like it today. I'm telling you right now. We got my overnight inventory edge. That edge is in play for a correction. Our market's pretty strong. Broke our triple high volume node in the ES. We are above 248 in the NASDAQ. We're now in bullish bias for the day trades. Looking for a pullback to get long. Okay? All right, everybody. If I don't see you in my Discord, which I hope I do, remember, no trade is a trade. Hope everyone has a green day. And if I don't see you in there, I'll see you tomorrow.